Welcome, everybody. Episode 13 of the Harrison Brinker Show is finally here. You've waited a week and it's finally here. But before we get into it, I always like to ask if you guys have been paying attention to the news. Did you guys see this? Sabrina Carpenter, there's some rumors that she might have broken up with her longtime boyfriend, Barry Keoghan. Although the couple has yet to confirm the rumors, I think it's for the best if we just mind our own business here, guys. It's really none of our concern. Although, if anyone does finally confirm it, please, for the love of God, let me know as soon as you hear it. Sabrina, I will be there for you. I will not let you down. I will give you a shoulder to cry on. Anyway, Colin's going to join a little later, and we're going to go over some Would You Rathers. But before that, I'm going to explain how much I hate life hacks and just tricks in general. So if you hate those or you like Would You Rathers, stick around. If not, stick around anyway. I'll see you in a minute.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 13 of the Harrison Brinker Show. I hope you're finding yourselves well. How are you guys doing? Great. That's exciting to hear. I'm glad to know you're all doing well, except for that one guy who's upset that his mom is dead. My heart goes out to you, sir. Do you guys notice anything? I have some new merch here. If you'd like to order any of this, it is, these are open. Just so you know. So don't expect any drinks in them, but if you want a custom soda can or candle, you can go over to the Patreon. The first couple people who donate $100 a month, I'll write whatever you want on whatever you want with a Sharpie and send it over to you. We have these custom lighters. I'll sell you some of my clothes. We really need to get this channel off the ground, guys. Just kidding, obviously. I'm doing just fine for money. How are you guys doing? I already asked that, but I really am curious because I didn't do enough this week to really talk about myself for too long. I know last week was, I recorded that last episode the day after I had quit FedEx, but then I had to go to my other job, so I really haven't gotten to enjoy my time off away from FedEx, which is the place I work. I worked during the week, so I work my regular job on the weekends. I worked at FedEx during the week, which meant I haven't had a day off in like 4 months. But finally, this week started. Monday was my first day off in a long time, and all I did was sleep in. Slept until 1 o'clock. I haven't done that in like 2 weeks. FedEx usually didn't start till like 6 o'clock at night, so I didn't have any reason to wake up anytime soon. So I got to sleep in all the time regardless. But it is fun to just be able to sit down at home. I got Maker's Mark. I bought some bourbon, like I said last week, and celebrated with that just to say, hey, you know what? Not only am I going to have a couple shots when I get home on my last day of work from FedEx, I can drink it during the day now. I don't really make a habit of day drinking, though, because it makes me feel good for a little bit, and then the next morning I wake up, and I'm not hungover, but I'm just like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I feel like every day is like my New Year's resolution where for whatever reason, whatever I do, I'm just like, starting tomorrow, I'm never doing that again. And then tomorrow gets here, I'm like, I didn't mean today, I meant tomorrow. So it's always tomorrow for me, which is kind of convenient. Which is like why I only drink beer on Sundays, because I call it Beer Sunday. That's why I call it Beer Sunday. But you know the only thing better than Beer Sunday? Beer Monday, baby. That's right, drinking beer on a Monday. Just kidding. I'm not an alcoholic, and if I was, you'd know about it because I'd be sneaking stuff in. Well, this beer is empty, by the way. Don't worry. I would never let a beer go undrunken before I turned it into a prop for the show. I guess that's not really good proof of how I'm not an alcoholic, but it's just one beer. And I don't work during the week anymore, so if I were a drunk, I'd be drunk right now, and I'm not. I'm actually very tired right now. I work on the weekends, like I said, at my regular job, but I only work 3 12-hour shifts on the weekend. So one of the days out of the week, Thursday, which is the day I'm filming this, I have to work a 4-hour shift. But I still have to be up at the 12-hour shift time. So I had to be up at 5:30 this morning to go in for work, and it's currently 1:30 in the afternoon, and I'm very tired because I haven't slept, and I didn't get any sleep last night. I think I fell asleep at 2, woke up at 5:30. I was watching a show, a live stream show that I didn't want to miss, so I stayed up late watching it. I won't tell you the show, though. That's none of your business. It Yeah, that's about all I got. Like I said, I haven't done much. I cooked myself a steak. I was going to say watch movies, but I actually haven't watched a movie since Deadpool 3, which I already talked about. Didn't like it very much. It was nothing to write home about. Just to reiterate, biggest movie of the year. Biggest movie of the year. It made $1 billion. So did Titanic. What a piece of crap. That's all I got. Before I keep rambling on, I'm just going to cut this segment because what else is there to say? If you want to hear what I have to say, stay tuned, and I'll talk to you all about how much I hate life hacks and a very particular YouTuber. Coming up soon, everybody. We'll see you in a second.
Son, wake up. What? Wake up. I am up. Wake up. What? Wake up. I am up. Oh.
I hate life hacks. I get on Facebook every now and then because I'm so bored at work, and when you go on Facebook, it's full of just memes for old people. I think the only people that really use that anymore are your grandparents. And those boomers get suckered into just watching just about anything online, so these videos get popular and more popular. But I wanted to show you one. I wanted to show you some life hacks. And this, for example, is just like a regular Facebook video you'd kind of see, just to ease you into it, life hacks. Because I hate life hacks. I'm very sick of people doing very lame things or very obvious things and then calling it a life hack, and then not only stopping there but making a whole video about it and uploading it to YouTube, where you get a channel like 5 Minute Crafts with 80 million subscribers, and this video gets 6 million views, 5.5 million views, and it's just like, must be nice. And I'm not sitting here begging for 5 million views. Trust me, I think that would be a little too many people, too many eyeballs on me. That'd be 10 million eyeballs. I don't want that much attention. I don't really do this for attention. I do this because I hate stuff, and I'm like, does anyone else hate this? I guess that's kind of attention, but certainly don't get me wrong. I'm not doing this for the fame, if that ever happens. But you have a channel with 80 million subscribers, and you see all these things on YouTube, and I'll get into this later, but all these articles or whatever about trying to explain how to start a channel, which, yes, okay, I have looked at, even though I hate every single one I've read. I'll get into that later. But it's just like, okay, make engaging content and interact with your subscribers and post this and post that, and then you have whatever this is called, brain rot. Is that what the people are talking about? Is that what this sort of thing is brain rot, where it's just like you're just watching it going, drooling like Patrick from SpongeBob? Because it's just like, this channel has 80 million subscribers. That's what people want to watch. You've researched for years and years to become Mr. Beast, to try to finally hack the algorithm. But the thing most people are watching is 5 Minute Crafts life hack videos where they explain to you how to tie your shoes. So let's see how they break it down for us, how to tie your shoes. Nope, doesn't work. Because apparently that way was wrong. You should do the loop and pull. That's the right way. I'm pausing it here. This is the epitome to me of life hack videos and how much I hate them. It's considers a soda can. It's involves a soda can or something, I don't know. Whenever I turn the microphone on, I lose all sense of language or how to talk. This pisses me off. This is what I was going to say, is the fake problem, I guess. This guy's showing you like, oh, you know when you try to put a straw in a soda and it's... First of all, he didn't make it clear what the problem is, but I've seen videos like this enough before to know the solution he's trying to give you is to solve the problem where your straw bobs up and down in the soda. So let's see it. This is his way to show you, or whoever's way to show you, like, you know how you hate your straw bobbing up and down? You can't even tell that that's a problem, by the way. And also, who puts a straw in a soda can? If you're putting a straw in a soda can, you're an idiot. I understand if it's a sippy cup, because you can't get to your Capri Sun without a straw. I understand if it's actually, I was going to say I understand if it's a McDonald's cup. When you're at McDonald's, don't use a lid. What do you need a lid for? Just you drink it like a cup. If you're at your house, you don't need to put a lid on a glass. You know what I mean? You should only use the lid if you're in the car. That's something I'll stand behind my whole life. You don't need a lid if you're sitting down to eat at McDonald's. Anyway, so the straw thing. So now this guy flips the tab around and is saying, you can stick the straw through the tab. And it's true, you can. And I guess that would solve your bobbing up and down problem. What I don't like, and I should have picked a better video because this isn't doing what I hate, is when people would do something like this, show you that there's a straw problem where it floats up and down in the water, flip the tab around, stick the straw in to keep it from bobbing up and down, and then saying that's the point of the straw, or that's the point of the tab. Saying, did you know that the point of the tab is to hold your straw in place? It is absolutely not the point. And you're lying if you say that. And I understand, like, in a 90s infomercial where they'd have someone like, hey, do you always drop your bowling ball on your foot when you're trying to clean it? And you're kind of just, like, watching it like, who does that? But at least the company lying to you about how often you're dropping your bowling ball is trying to sell you a bowling ball holder. These people are lying about how often you use a straw in a soda can and how to solve it, but it's not like they're selling you a product. I guess they're selling the views, but still, like, there's easier ways to get people to just sit and watch videos. Apparently, I'm doing it wrong, but they're not selling you like a product where it would make sense to be deceitful about a problem that only they can sell you the solution to. They're just showing you videos of like these weird non-problems and then giving you a non-solution to something that wasn't even there. I don't know. It's very weird to wrap my mind around. I think that's also why it confuses me. It's like an enigma. Like, I don't really understand what the motive is here. Is it just brain rot YouTube videos? Like, 5 Minute Crafts is just posting because they have 80 million subscribers, so they got to post something. We don't need a narrator. We don't need to put thought into it. Just do something with a straw and a soda tab. What can you come up with? There's another one I wanted to show you too. We'll skip those. This guy shows you how to stir differently. It's this one here with saran wrap. Watch this and tell me if it makes you as mad as me. Okay, so the problem is the roll keeps falling out. The solution is to use the tabs already... Why did that mute? Is to use the tabs already built into the saran wrap. So they're saying it like this is a life hack. Let's go back. They're presenting it to you like, hey, this is a hack. Like, I already hate what you consider life hacks, but this is to another level of like a life hack. 30 most useful life hacks ever. Hey, use the tabs on the saran wrap for what they were intended for. You see how there's a big arrow right under his... Oh, I clicked the pause button or whatever. You see how there's a big arrow right here? We'll wait for it to come up. Right there. You know why that's there? Because Mr. Reynolds Wrap said, hey, we should put these tabs in here so the rolls of aluminum foil don't fall out. And we'll put arrows to them so people know what they're for. So you're not allowed to then take credit for popping the tabs in and saying that's a life hack. That is the intention of the invention. That's like tying your shoes for the first time and saying, wow, real life hack, guys. You know you're supposed to tie your shoes? I was just walking around with them just dragging on the ground. And then everyone else and the guy who invented shoes gets to go, yeah, we knew about that. Very annoying. Are you getting angry yet? This is my problem with America? I don't know. I have a lot of problems with this kind of video. It reminds me of a meme that started on TikTok and Twitter where people keep saying, like, I was today years old when blank. And then they'll tell you something like, or, well, let me start over. Let me be nice. I don't necessarily have a problem with someone explaining something they just learned. I saw one on TikTok the other day. I don't know if this is true or not, but if it is, this is the kind of fact that I'm okay with learning about. I'm okay with hearing that you just learned about it. It's when people, and I'm sure you've seen this because I saw it multiple times and I'm kind of getting sick of it. When people said, I didn't know until today, or today I learned, I was today years old, that 30% chance of rain doesn't mean it's a 30 out of 100 chance it's going to rain. It's that it's a 100% chance it'll rain in 30% of your area. I don't know if that's true or not, but that is the kind of fact that benefits you to know. So I don't mind people saying, I was today years old when I learned that. Although I can go without the millennial Twitter talk. I kind of hate that stuff. Just say, like, oh, I'm 14 years young. I don't know why I said 14. I'm 24 years young. It's like, just shut up. Just talk like a real person, please. Especially if you're 24. Your parents probably had you when they were 24, and now look at you. You're 24, you still live with your parents. You're a loser. If you talk like that. I'm 24 years young. Shut the hell up. But here's some examples of people saying I was today years old. I was today years old when I found out that the first episode of a show is called a pilot because it's the first time they're on air. That's not true. It's just a pun that you came up with that you thought made sense because it's a pun. And then you present it as fact. And look, this tweet didn't go viral. 6 retweets, 23 likes. But it did go viral in a sense because when you Google this tweet, it comes right up in Google Images. So yes, there's not a lot of likes and retweets on it, but it's clearly got some notoriety because why is there a Google image of it? Anyway, this is not, I'm not upset at this tweet per se, although I am. This is just this reflects a lot on this style of meme and Twitter trend. Sorry, there's a UPS guy outside. Let me look. I should get a video of him. It is 95 degrees out, and he's wearing long sleeves and pants and a safari hat. And people say that, like, oh, you go to the desert, you should cover yourself from head to toe so that the sun doesn't burn you. I'm like, have you tried wearing a cardigan outside? It's freaking 95 degrees. It's insanely hot. Why would anyone wear that in the desert? If I'm going to the desert, I'm wearing a Speedo. I'll worry about the sunscreen later. Anyway, I have a problem with this tweet because it's just not true. The term pilot, like a show, I looked this all up the other day. I didn't remember it, and I don't care enough to write it down. It doesn't really matter, but it's some Latin crap, and it's the same. It just basically means like primary or first, whatever. Pilot. I don't know why I said it like that. It's pilot. But like, you know the light on your stove when you turn it on, it's called the pilot light? That's not because it has anything to do with an airplane, but I could make a tweet and say, oh, it's called a pilot light because that's when the light takes off. Like, yeah, you could flip anything into a weird airline pun or something. Just something stupid to kind of make your own logic to make sense of how you're actually right and how everyone's stupid for not even realizing that a pilot has something to do with an airplane. Like, it's just not true. It just means first. It just means one. That's why this second episode's not called the co-pilot. And what does it have to do with it's the first time they're on air? Pilot isn't the first time they're in the air. You're in the air 100 times before you're allowed to be a pilot. So you just thought something about, oh, on air. Why is it called on air? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because it's broadcasting in the air. Maybe that's why it has something to do with on air. Sorry. Because they're literally in the air. It has nothing to do with a plane. The only thing those things have in common is that they're both in the air, and the show Lost has a plane crash. Breaking Bad has a plane crash. That's about it. This whole segment's going to be a plane crash. Here's another one. I was today years old when I found out the signs of juice boxes are for kids to hold, that rhymes, so they don't squeeze out the juice. I like this example because, yes, you can use it for that. I'm not trying to be president and say it should be illegal to use the juice box handles like that or flip it out to use it as a handle. You should do whatever you want. If you find a little trick to keep your life easier, keep your baby cleaner, please, for the love of God, for all of us, do it. Keep your baby clean. But don't go on Twitter and say, I was today years old, and this is all the same thing. It's life hacks for 2015, now in 2019, 2024, people say, I was today years old, or I just learned. Tell me you know this without telling me you know this. When I found out that the sides of juice boxes are for kids to hold so they don't squeeze out the juice, and it's like, how can you be a mother? I've seen the person who tweeted this. It was a mom. How can you be the mother of a child and make it this far into your life and be able to convince yourself that this is true? Have you never seen any other sort of container before? Like, obviously, yes, the manufacturer could design a box, a juice box that doesn't have those tabs, but it would cost them $60 million to do. So for the sake of knowing that babies don't actually care what kind of container their juice comes in, and knowing that mothers aren't so stupid that they would try to use it as some sort of weird invention, they figure, look, let's just make it a box and we just fold the corners down like a Christmas present. That's like saying that your Christmas presents have those tabs on them so that it's easier for you to pick them up. It's like, they certainly make it easier to hold, but even that, that'd be a lie too to say, did you know the point of wrapping a Christmas present so it's easy to open? It's like, if it was easy to open, then you wouldn't even wrap it. You know what I mean? It's called a straw man argument right there. But I think it actually worked pretty well for coming up with it off the top of my head. So same thing. This lady's presenting this as it's just a fact and it's not. Doesn't end there. There's a YouTube channel that a lot of you may know. It's pretty popular. and I've got a lot of problems with it. Let's check it out. That's right. We have here the classic crazy Russian hacker. Welcome back to his laboratory. Today's number one priority. But before we do that, I need to chug some water. I've been yapping all day. So give me a second here, but we'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I also decided to eat a Chip Ahoy. Let's check out what the crazy Russian mafia. You guys remember this guy? This is his chip video. I guess I gotta get back into the life hacks thing. So this is now a different side of the YouTube life hacks thing where it's a guy actually talking to the camera. Today he's talking about chips. So let's see. I think it's going to be just as stupid as all the other life hacks we saw. I saw one the other day. I was looking up for this video. I decided not to include it, but I'll say it. It was a lady made an article of life hacks and a whole big list of life hacks, and the one was a DIY dry erase board. And she said, what you should do is put a piece of paper in a picture frame, or put the glass in the picture frame, and then draw on it with a dry erase marker. That's a beautiful craft. If you put a nice picture in there, I'm sure it'll be kind of nice to see a to-do list. Every time your husband walks out the door, he's reminded of you and him on your honeymoon, and he goes, oh, to-do, oh, pay the mortgage, whatever. Go to work. Cheat on my wife. But just making a dry erase board is not a life hack. You know what I mean? Can you see the Chips Ahoys in my teeth? So let's see this. For example, crazy Russian cracker here is about to tell us if you fold a big bag of chips down, you can use it as a bowl.
Chips comes out like that.
And the chips comes out like that.
Out over here, you keep pushing it up even more. So that way, you have this.
It's not a life hack. If you want to eat out of a bowl, eat out of a bowl. Anything else is up to you, but you can't present it as... This is a trick. This is stupider than pouring it into a bowl. This is actually slowing you down. You have to fold it all weird. You have to leave the chips out. Now if they go stale, they all go stale. Instead of if you get drunk, pour some chips into a bowl, wrap the chip bag back up, put it in the closet, put it in the pantry. You fall asleep, pass out, blackout, drunk. You leave that bowl of chips out, they're all going stale. Luckily for you, the rest of them are safe and secure inside your pantry. Whereas when you follow this big galoot, you're going to get all your chips stale, which is just one problem with doing this. Another is just wasting time. And a third is you're listening to a Russian guy explain you how to eat American food.
My favorite. I use it all the time.
He uses this trick all the time. Oh, really? On what? The communists?
Do it. You grab a little bag. You can eat.
This one's annoying too. I don't know if he's trying to piss me off with this tiny fun-sized bag. This is like a hack joke too, by the way. I don't use this joke because it's hack. But a lot of people, when they get a bag of chips, they'll still to this day be like, oh, there's only 6 in here. Oh, that's kind of like a Lay's bag, right? When you thought there was going to be more, but there's only like 5, and it's all air, right? Like, yeah, what do you want them to vacuum seal your bags shut? You're going to destroy your chips. They're made out of nothing. Blow on a Lay, it will fall over.
And keep ripping it
or break, or whatever.
Like
anyway, so they have to put air in the bag. Sorry. You're not sure. It doesn't weigh much more. Does air actually weigh anything? Anyway, I'm sure it does. I don't want to get into that. Every time I post on TikTok a question that confuses me, I get called an idiot.
What you do is keep rolling it into the circle till you're happy.
Anyway, so he's using a tiny chip bag, but I won't hold that against him. Maybe he had no more big chips, and he had to wait for his daughter's soccer game to go out, and then when the other mothers from the soccer team brought the snacks after the game was over, this whatever this guy's name is, I was going to come up with a Russian name. I literally am so anti-Russian, I've wiped all the names from my memory. It's like when SpongeBob only remembered fine dining and breathing.
Your bowl is going to look like.
So this is another bowl trick, by the way. I guess that's just a lot of talking for me to just cut to the chase here. He has a small, tiny bag. Like I said, I won't hold it against him. Pretend this is a big bag, I guess. But he's ripping the top off of it so you can use it as a bowl. At least with the last one, you could unfold that and put it back in the container. Put it back in the pantry if you're not passed out drunk like some of us would be. This guy chugging down vodka. But this, you want to use it as a bowl, so I have to assume he does want the small bag. I take it back. I will hold it against him, or I will assume that he wants to use the small bag for this, because if you used a big bag, now you're forced into eating the entire bag. Which raises the question, if you're concerned about eating the small bag of chips, why don't you just eat them all in one bite? There's only, look, you can count them on the screen. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 35. Let's say 35 chips in there. Actually, sorry, thinking about chips made me throw up. Lay's small bag potato chips nutrition facts. I can't spell. I spelled nutrition and potato wrong. Oh my god, it just I wish it just told me what the... Oh, it doesn't tell you the amount of chips. Okay, I'll cut that part out. How many chips? Oh, now I'm getting concerned. Could you hear that in my voice? How many chips, though? How many chips in a Lay's bag? 20. Approximately 20. That took me a while. How many chips in a Lay's bag? Approximately 20. Oh, I'm skipping ahead here. So you got 20 chips in there. I guessed 35. That's pretty good. What is happening? Now we're zooming.
Bigger bags.
What
and
the
that
hell?
Way you get artificial bowl like that. And that way you're not
I zoomed
making
in.
your other
Sorry,
dishes
this is all very confusing to me.
dirty.
This technology. Oh my word. No wonder I'm upset with everything all the time. I don't even know how to run my own computer. Anyway, you have 20 chips in that bag. Let's say between 20 and 35. That was a 10-minute segue, just to tell you that. Or segment, tangent, whatever. You don't need to rip it open. Just either pour them into your hand, pour them into a bowl, eat them out of the bag like a normal person. Like, you can't... I already am very strict about what I consider a life hack. But can we at least agree that if you're going to call something a life hack, it has to be more efficient, more beneficial to you than the original way you were doing it? Like, this is not better than opening the bag by the top, by the seam, and eating out of the bag. So you can't call that a life hack. That's like me saying an easy way to go to sleep at night is hitting yourself in the head with a frying pan. It's like, yeah, it may work, but it's not better than not getting a concussion. Let's see what else this bald psycho has for us. Oh, this is my favorite one of all. This one inspired the entire video. I've been thinking about this. This video came out in 2015. I watched it when it came out. Maybe the day it came out. I don't know. I used to be a big fan of this guy back before I was pro-Ukraine. I remember watching this video and I remember thinking, even as a 14-year-old moron, how stupid this next segment is. So Mr. Beast here is doing 7 sponge life hacks.
Hack: simply grab scissors and cut your sponge in half.
Okay, he's going to cut a sponge in half. Now make your guesses in the comments below what the trick is going to be. What's the point of cutting a sponge in half? I think I have my answer.
And now you have 2 sponges. It's big enough to...
Did you hear that? Let's watch that again.
And now you have 2 sponges.
So the whole trick, cutting a sponge in half, wasting everybody's time, is so that instead of having one big sponge, you can have 2 sponges. And if you cut them in half enough, it's basically infinite sponges. Hey, you know that computer you bought? You know that light you have? You know your bed? Chop it in half, sell it on Facebook, and now you have free bed. It doesn't work that way, crazy Russian man. Now, if you said... hey, like, it shouldn't be illegal to cut a sponge in half. I'm not saying that. If you have a little tiny buff you need to scratch out of your car, or a little tiny little piece of food on a little miniature Barbie-sized plate, sure, cut a sponge in half. I don't care what you do, but this is not a life hack. And could you imagine if this is a good test to know whether or not these channels are for children. Imagine your mother or father, or mother and father, sitting down and taking advice from the crazy Russian hacker. Could you imagine that? Your mom loves cleaning the dishes, and then one day you walk in on her, watching YouTube, learning sponge tricks because she wants to wash the dishes better, and she learns this one, that if you cut a sponge in half, you get 2 sponges. And then you see her take a kitchen shears out of the drawer and a sponge and cut it in half. Would you lose all respect for your mother? I know I would.
It's big enough.
So that wasn't stupid. This is, I wasn't going to show you this, but this is just a funny moment in the video. I think the point of this was to,
Here's how to sanitize your sponge.
let's see, sanitizing your
Make
sponge.
sure it's gonna get really
So you get it
wet.
all wet.
Ooh, that's hot. So
Then
make
you
sure
put it in the
run under
microwave,
the
and it's
cold
obviously
water.
hot, so you want to
yeah.
cool
I
it
don't
down.
know.
Let's
I
see
think
what he
it's a
does
good
next.
idea. So make sure you run it under the cold water.
He's gonna run it under cold water to make sure he doesn't burn himself.
Oh,
Did you
that's
see
so
that?
hot.
Sorry, I talked right
Cold
over it.
water, I guess. Yeah. I
He
don't know.
picks
I
up the
think it's a
sponge
good
and
idea.
wrings it out.
So
Sorry, I keep scratching my nose. I don't know what's going on. It's very itchy.
make sure you run it under the cold water, I guess. So it's oh,
Is that not funny to watch? He picks up the sponge and wrings it out. It's got boiling water. He just ran it in the microwave for 10 minutes.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good idea. So make sure you run it under the cold water, I guess. So it's oh, that's so hot. So make sure you don't squeeze it out. Let it.
You're allowed to do a second take, by the way, there, crazy man, crazy Russian. You don't need to keep this all in. This is not a live stream. That's beside the point. That has nothing to do with life hacks. But there's a life hack for you. Don't squeeze a melted sponge. Another life hack would be if you do that and your whole thing is safety number one priority, you don't need to show a video of you doing that. That'd be like me coming on here and saying, hey, I like to make fun of people, and then going, please don't ever make fun of me. And then instead of deleting that, posting it. Anyway, come at me, crazy Russian hacker. Hack this. I don't have my two-factor authentication turned on. Good luck. And what's the hack, by the way? It's a hack. I'm hacking life. That's like in middle school when someone would open your phone, your iPod, whatever, sign on to your Instagram. Not even sign on. Your Instagram opens to your account and then saying, it's taking a picture of themselves, posting on the story and said, hacked your phone. I don't have a password on my iPod. It didn't take shit to hack it. You didn't hack it. You couldn't hack anything. That's annoying. Right, guys? What is this? This was another life hack video he posted. I was going to show you. It kind of bothered me. This is from like 10 years ago, though, so I really can't hold it against him that he would have, like...
But as you can see,
I don't know.
So we got and
He's showing you how to use a cassette tape to hold your phone up. But that really doesn't... Look at the style of phone he's even talking about. This is too old to care of. But I will scroll through this real quick to see if there's anything. Oh, say bag of rice. That's when people realize that you can put your phone in a bag of rice. Something about a rubber band. What's this about to be? Oh, don't freaking tell me.
And as you can tell, we got a beer glass tripod. Pretty simple.
Not a tripod. That's not a Sorry. That's not a tripod. So you may be asking yourself, what has happened to the crazy Russian hacker? Well, this. These are the videos he's posting now. He's gone away from life hacks and has gone to just reviewing products. He'll eat MREs, military MREs, and he'll open up knives that people send to him or $30 or $300 mystery boxes. The problem with this is I don't know how he's making any money. Like that sponge video had, what, 5 million views on it. That phone video I'm sure did well. This was like early 2010s is when this guy was really blowing up. Like I said, the sponge videos from 2015. Now it's 9 years later. This video's been out since July 27th, so a couple weeks now. It's got 40,000 views, not even 37,000 views. You find that, well, okay, so this one here is 151,000 views from 2 months ago. Let's go to his channel here, Crazy Russian Hacker. Videos. Let's just read the... Okay, so this is from an hour ago. I won't be upset. 1,000 views. Oh, not even a day ago, 11,000. 13,000, 26, 22, 26, 45, 16. This is as time goes on, by the way. So 16,000 views from a video from 3 weeks ago, 28,000 from a month ago. And before anyone would even dares to say, Harrison, 28,000 views, you're bagging on that, you get none. Yeah, well, if I had a channel with 12 million subscribers and I got 10,000 views on a video that was been out for 3 months, then you can make fun of me all you want, buddy. There's clearly a difference between a guy that was 12 million subscribers with his most popular video getting 58 million views to now consistently posting to 10,000 people. So what happened with Crazy Russian Hacker? That's a good question. I think what happened is he phoned it in. I think he got into a channel, into a weird niche like life hacks. I mean, he named himself the Crazy Russian Hacker, like he's going to show you all these tips and tricks for life. And they're all just not real tricks. They're just gimmicky things like using a thumbtack to put at the end of a Nerf dart to stab somebody. You won't run out, for a while, you won't run out of content. Because you can turn anything like that into a stupid video. Look what he did with the sponges. He might have had one actual sponge life hack on there, and it took him for, like, the thing I showed you where he cut the sponge in half, that was the third thing on the list. So he got 2 things into sponges, things you could do with sponges, before he had to resort to cutting one in half in terms of content. So it was already running out of things to talk about 9 years ago. This is just a consequence of getting a weird niche channel and then not really knowing how to handle it after your popularity dies down, because no one really watches life hack videos anymore except me. They're still around, obviously, but I feel like in 2015 it was like a bigger thing. That was like a whole trend. Now, go to latest videos again, and we'll just see real quick like what these videos are. Actually, I already had one pulled up. It was that MRE. So he does this weird split screen that I don't like, which is, I mean, you can see it here. It's like 70-30 face cam versus video, whatever the hell's going on in his hands. It should just be, if you want to include your face at all, which I don't think is necessary for a video like this, have it in the very corner of the screen, because this is valuable real estate here, Crazy Russian Hacker, and we don't need to know what color shirt you're wearing. And we already see this tray right here. Sorry. We see the tray on both sides of it. And this is also my problem, is you have, you know those stories you hear? This is like the classic story I've heard. There's this British guy that won the lottery. He was a garbage man. He spent all the money on drugs and hookers, and 8 years later, he was a garbage man again. I've seen that story pop up on Facebook. Whether it's true or not, you know that has to have happened. You hear these stories of NFL players going broke the moment they leave the NFL. And you just think, how could someone do that? Normal people would say, how could someone do that? And then you turn around to YouTube and you go, Crazy Russian Hacker did that. He had the world, he had YouTube by the cojones, as they call them in Russia. And what did he do? I understand changing your content to not always doing life hack videos. Eventually those are going to fall off. But now you have 12 million subscribers. I would assume he's making at least $100 grand a year, and at his peak was probably brought in over $1 million a year. I'm sure altogether has brought in more than $1 million from this YouTube channel, unless there's some weird Russian tax thing that we don't know about. But he has at least $1 million to his production's name. He has 12 million subscribers. And when did he start his channel? I need to see this before I make my whole thing. Joined in 2012. He's been a YouTuber for 12 years and still doesn't know that this whole section of the frame is unnecessary. And I want to hear the audio quality on this too. Why can I not freaking hear?
Oh, I like that poppy seed cake.
I'd like to know where the microphone is. It actually sounds alright for not seeing a lav mic.
Stick. Double packaged. That's cool.
He must just have a boom mic right above him. Anyway, that's alright. That's good production. But this camera is right in front of you. That doesn't need to be there. You don't need this entire frame here. If you want to show your face, but it's not emoting anything. And then when we finally get to see you eat it, I'm pretty sure it just cuts to him eating it anyway. Yeah, it just cuts to a full frame of him eating it. So it's not like we would not be able to see your face in this video. And you know what else he does in the video? This is a 12-year YouTuber, a YouTube veteran, eating what veterans eat, an MRE. $1 million to his name. And what does he do?
One meal.
He eats on camera and smacks his lips into the mic. Can you hear that? Let's turn that up. I'll turn that up for you people at home.
A little bit spicy.
Ugh.
I like it.
This is
a good one.
a successful YouTuber who's 12 years in. hit it big, won the lottery, and then blew all his money, and he's not even... Has he not learned anything? Like, I understand your views are going to go down, but did you not learn anything from the time you were, like, one of the biggest channels on the entire website? Like, I don't know, maybe don't chew disgusting military food into the microphone. You don't need to do food reviews, or if you do, what is this high-quality microphone you're using? Can you turn it off? Or go like this? It's pretty good, guys. Or like what I did earlier. I guess you're doing a food review. I was going to say what I did earlier when I said, hey, pause it. I need to go to get a drink. This guy wouldn't pause it. Although I get there's a difference between doing a food review and just getting a drink. But still, this is disgusting. Like, who enjoys... How do you not know people have a problem listening to people chew on the internet? And... you're going to take a channel that was already extremely famous and then turn it into, I'm going to eat in the microphone channel. You're just asking for trouble. I want to hear if he eats more. So this goes on for a very long time. Oh, you know what goes good with macaroni and chili and a beef stick? Orange juice.
Oh yeah, that is good.
Mm-hmm. Anyway... so that's disgusting. So that's what happened to Crazy Russian Hacker. He took his lottery winnings, he spent it all on hookers and cocaine, and he's back being a garbage man. And he's just trying to figure out what the hell's going to work because he's posting these videos and nothing has taken off yet because he went away from what was working. I don't know exactly when he stopped doing the life hacks thing, but if I scroll and scroll here, you could see he's done these weird product reviews. For the last 8 months, he posts consistently. Like I said, the last 2 days, not even 24 hours, he already has 2 videos up. So that's certainly helping him. And it's not like he gets no views. If he's posting a video every day, I'm sure he's making money. But still, it's not the Crazy Russian Hacker that you know and love, which is sad. But you also don't be too sympathetic with this guy. He took what could have been the easiest money in the world and forced himself into working and every day, nonstop, buying $300 weird care packages from Amazon and trying to crawl back into the world that is YouTube fame. Because now he's just a blip on all our memories. Let me see what else I had written here. That was pretty much it. I think the only other note I had was don't be tricked into thinking this guy's smart just because he's from Russia. Listen to the way he talks. I'm sure even in Russia, that accent is annoying. That was pretty much all I had. But I hate life hacks. I hope that's clear. I hate this whole, just any internet trend. I was today years old when, blank. I am 24 years young. Blah, that's stupid. Here's a life hack, and it's all about ways you can make your own pocket knife. Take a razor blade out of a razor and then use it to cut a piece of paper. I'm like, well... if I had to do that, I wouldn't attach it to anything. I would just cut it with the razor blade. Like, that's not better. Like I said, at the very least, can we make these life hacks things better than the thing we're already doing? Crazy Russian Hacker. Turning a Lay's chip bag into a bowl isn't easier than a bowl. You know why? You know how we know that? Because we invented bowls 30,000 years ago. We invented Lay's yesterday, and we didn't send them to you in a bowl. We sent them to you in a bag because it made more sense to send them to you in a bag. So that's all I got. But I have something else that's kind of connected to this, but I'll end it on a high note and I'll save it for the next segment. So please, Crazy Russian Hacker, if you want to come on the show, you're always invited. You can explain your way out of this whole weird situation. And if I win the debate, I'm going to deport you.
I couldn't sleep. Have some milk. Okay. Yeah, sure. I can use that. Is that good? Wait, I gotta get to the bathroom.
Okay, final thing. Just a quick one. Like I said, it kind of has to do with the life hack thing and kind of has to do with YouTube, but I'll end it on the Crazy Russian Hacker rant for that last segment. What I want to talk about now is YouTube hacks. I'm obviously starting. I've started a new channel. I'm posting videos consistently. I'm posting videos consistently. That's pretty much all I've been doing. But I obviously want to be able to look up and see if there's things people can tell me, like, hey, if you're starting a new channel, here's a couple of things you could look at to help your channel out. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't mind looking at that. Of course, I'd like to know what I could do to make this a better channel, get more eyeballs on it. Like I said earlier, I'm not doing this channel because I want to get famous. I like sitting down and making videos. But I guess if people want to watch it, and enough people watch it, I can't stop you from watching it. If that happens, whatever. But of course, I hope that the people that are watching this like it, and I hope that if there's people out there that would like this kind of content, this kind of video, I hope YouTube pushes it to them for them to find it. So I watch these videos to try to get your videos out to everyone, especially now just starting out. Like maybe YouTube doesn't know what kind of audience is even watching this. There's not enough numbers to really know for sure the type of people that are interested in watching this kind of content, blah, blah, blah. So I'll just throw anything at the wall and see what sticks is basically what they're doing. So I look up these videos to see what I can do if I have any part in this. Like, hey, YouTube, what can I do in my settings and my video titles and my thumbnails to help you guys out? And there's a couple lines I won't cross. But there's some nice things they say. Hey, make sure to include YouTube video tags. And there's a couple settings that are automatically turned on. But if you turn them off, it actually could benefit your channel. Like notifying subscribers for shorts. If you turn that off, I've heard it actually helps because now all of a sudden it's showing it to everybody, not just your subscribers. And if you don't have a ton of subscribers, it's not beneficial. It's only when you have 1 million subscribers and you notify them, they already like it, get the algorithm going, and then YouTube shows it to everybody. But for right now, just keep that unchecked. Anyway, I don't mind hearing things like that, and I don't mind playing along with things like that. But I look up YouTube hacks, and, well, I didn't look this up. I looked it up for the sake of the video. I wouldn't look up YouTube hacks. I'm very particular about what I'm okay and not okay by doing with the channel. For example, have you seen the thumbnails and how bland they are? That wasn't an accident. You might go, this guy's channel's never going to grow if he doesn't put a picture of Barbie on the screen. It's like, well, I hate Barbie, so I'm not putting her on the screen. Anyway. But a video I saw the other day was talking about, so here's the point. A video I saw the other day was talking about YouTube Shorts and TikToks and different ways to keep the audience retention high. And the one thing the guy said was, if it's a short enough video, you can make the video loop at the end. That way people don't know when the video stops and starts. That way you get more views per video because one person thinking they only watched it once actually counted for 3 or 4 views because the video replayed and they didn't know it. And I hate that very much. I hate any kind of looping TikTok, whether it's a post from a podcast where you go, I don't know. I've seen it with podcasts, and it never makes any sense. I don't want to give examples because that'd be rude. And half of them are from my old podcast that I didn't make the shorts of, but they never made any sense to me. Or, like, I can understand. I got tricked with a TikTok loop the other day. It was a video of a guy playing that falling ball Plinko game that you like bet real money on that you could win like $1 million, and it said this guy wins the 1,000 times 1,000 and retires for his whole life. So I was watching it, waiting for him to win the 1,000, and it was like probably 2 minutes before I realized, oh my god, this is a looping video. Like, that's funny. I don't mind being tricked into that because the trick is that you got tricked. It's not someone trying to deceive you into giving them more retention, which then becomes more money. Like, I know the joke is that I wasted my time, not that I'm too stupid to realize a video stopped and I gave this guy a bunch of money. That guy's motive was to waste my time, not to make money, I guess. And if he made money, that's great, but that's not a good joke. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I saw that and it bugged me because I don't like that mentality of just like disrespecting your audience to the point of like you're going to trick them into giving you views or money. That's not polite. And you should have a little more respect for the audience who's going to tune in every day on your show and give you views or give you money or whatever. But instead you're like, no, we can trick them and get even more money. It's like, why are you doing that? You could be like Crazy Russian Hacker here, who ran out of things to talk about, so he's just coming up with, cut a sponge in half, and as long as it's content, it'll go in the video. I just need people to watch longer. It's like, how can you do that. And I guess if you want to be famous or something, you have to have no soul or no morals to just go, oh, I don't care whatever I say in my videos. I don't care if it's true or false. As long as it's content, as long as it's got eyeballs. Oh, I don't care if people don't like me. I don't care if there's negative comments. As long as I get attention, as long as it just means clicks, right? It just means eyeballs. I get paid at the end of the day. It's like, okay, well, I hope you enjoy being a guy like Crazy Russian Hacker who just has to get, you know, their feet shot at every day, and you kind of have to just dance around trying to find a new way to make money every month instead of just being a normal person and letting the money come to you. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying by not putting in any effort. I'm just saying by creating something worth watching every time, something valuable, something that you put in as much effort, not just for the sake of the video, but for the sake of the audience, knowing that there's real people that are going to watch this. I went on a whole rant there. I think I got highway hypnosis when I was talking about it. But my problem is I don't like that it's just okay to just trick people now. And like, oh, I'm going to make a 2-minute video take 20 minutes because I want more views. I want more time for ad reads. We talked about this last week with the whole TikTok spray paint guy. Oh, I'm going to take an article and I'm going to, you know, someone Googles how to cook a chicken. I'm going to make it an article and I'm going to make it 10 paragraphs before I even say anything about chicken because I have space for ads. How do we get to a point where that's just okay, of like people just purposely wasting your time, not for the sake of a joke like that guy on Instagram, but for the sake of them making money, and you get nothing out of it? In fact, it wasted your time. At least back in the day when everyone was an asshole, apparently, like back in the 60s, they took advantage of everybody. And I'm like, yeah, but at least when you made your millions selling me Nesquik, I got to drink chocolate milk. Now all of a sudden, I Google an article to learn something, and it takes 10 times longer to learn than it would normally take, and then you still get your money. Except now I'm worse off than I was before. So I don't like tricking people, and they're like, put in different things in your tags, lie about what's in your tags, put in a deceitful title so it's more clickable, and it's just like, I'm not going to do that. And maybe that'll cost me money on this channel. Oh, no, not money. Maybe that'll cost me something on the channel, but I think in the long run it'll be for the best that I'm not going out of my way to lie to you, especially at a point like now when I don't have subscribers. Like, I'm not going to try to attract people that don't even know this channel yet by lying. You know what I mean? You say, Harrison, that's a stupid way to go about a YouTube channel. I'm like, we'll see, I guess. We'll see. Because I don't know how, the flip side of that, I don't know how lying is a better way to go about it. So don't lie to your audience. Don't do looping TikToks unless it makes sense for them to loop. But you don't have to be like, here's 3 phones that you can't live without. The iPhone, the BlackBerry, and the Android. And that was, here's 3 phones that you can't live without. Like, that doesn't even make sense how it's looping. Like, it should only be like an animation of someone saying, like, here's the way you calculate pi. And you take a circle and then spin it the entire way along its entire circumference and then say it was, 3.14 units of measure or whatever. And then you zoom in on the circle and then zoom back out. And then there's a cut in the middle and it starts the video again. That would kind of make sense if it's an animated video. But if it's just you talking and you're like, so we had a wet t-shirt contest, and we had to get a bunch of girls with white shirts, and then we had to find a hose, and then we realized all the girls we had were underage, so then we had a wet t-shirt contest, and then the video repeats. It's disgusting. Who's falling for that? And you're not tricking anyone for their attention. It's just weird, and I really don't like it. I don't like the deceit. If you take away one thing from this channel, I think I've made it clear as I just don't like being lied to, and I'll joke around and I'll exaggerate and I'll say, oh, this guitar cost me $9,000 when it really didn't. It's not wasting your time. But like making an entire YouTube channel where the whole point of it is just like, I'm going to make any video I can as long as the views will last the longest. I don't care what it's about. I just know I need eyeballs. That's a stupid way to go through life, everybody, and I hope you know it's going to bite you, because if you're just playing along with the algorithm, who knows tomorrow when that changes, and then you're going to be Crazy Russian Hacker, who at one point was getting 80 million views on a video, 12 million subscribers, and now all of a sudden, oh no, he's getting 10,000 views on a video because that went away. So don't just make your videos based on the tricks you learned today, because soon enough, life hacks will be over. And if I have anything to say about it, it'll be over pretty damn soon. Without further ado, everybody, Colin Blair.
Hello? Hello, honey. Hey, Joseph, it's Colin. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome back to the Harrison Brinker Show featuring Colin Blair, the interview portion of the show that you've come to love. Welcome back, Colin. Thank you for joining.
What's going on?
Nothing. I didn't do anything today. I woke up. I went to bed early last night. I went to bed at like 11, so I woke up today at 6:30. Well rested, but I just was like, well, I've got nothing to do. So I just sat around all day, made some breakfast.
I woke up at 2 a.m. because I heard something smash in my like out in my living room. So I just like creeped out. I thought someone broke into my apartment, but no, a picture just fell and smashed my heater. But yeah, so I didn't sleep much last night either after that.
Oh man, did you? This is something I always notice. Like if I wake up to a sound in the middle of the night, is I'll wake up, and then the sound happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I feel like. That's what happened to me exactly. Now that you mentioned that, because I was like, was I awake to? Like I questioned whether I woke up first. So yeah, that's funny. You even mentioned that.
Yeah, it's always weird. I'm like, what is going on there? Or did it happen already? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I sleep with earplugs now, so I don't have to hear anybody or anything when I have to wake up early. So that doesn't happen anymore. But anyway, no, I'm trying to think if there was anything else before we get into it. That was pretty much all I had. Like I said, I went to Walmart. This is the first episode I'm wearing what I wore in the rant portion, because I always, for whatever reason, I was like, oh, it'd be cool if I wear a different outfit for the interview. But then I realized, like, for the TikToks or the shorts or whatever, people will see a clip of the interview and then want to find the episode, and they can't because they don't know what I'm wearing. Anyway, so I'm done with that. Everyone at home, this is the first episode where I'm going to wear the actual outfit I wore only a second ago. But I was saying to you earlier, thank you because I texted you before we recorded this saying, like, are you good to go today? And you said, yeah, you have your Would You Rathers ready. And I'm glad you said that, because I forgot I even brought that up as a concept for us. So that's what we're doing today, though, everybody. The Would You Rathers. We have a couple of our own to ask each other, and neither of us know what the other guy's going to say. So this is not scripted. This will be a fun one, probably, but I guess I don't know, because it hasn't happened yet. It's not scripted. But I'll let Colin start here with a Would You Rather.
All right. So option 1 here, and this is for the rest of your life, all of these. So option 1, I'll start simple. Every day at your job, or not every day, once a week at your job, you will make an idiotic mistake that will make everybody mad at you, and you'll set everyone back a little bit, but you will never lose your job.
Okay.
So that will constantly be going on every week. You don't know what day of the week it'll be, but you will make an idiotic mistake. You have to endure the embarrassment and the anger from all the other coworkers. So once a week for the rest of your life. Option 2, every time you pee, it will burn on a scale of 8 out of 10.
Oh, every time?
Every time for the rest of your life.
Okay. Now, are you going to answer these as well? I had in mind for mine.
I know
I'll
what
throw
I
in
would
mine.
pick.
Okay. Let me think for a second here. I mean, I think I know my answer. I feel bad that it doesn't seem like I'm putting more thought into it, but I have to go with the job one. I pee like 6 times a day.
Okay.
And
well, I have the opposite answer.
Oh, okay. That's perfect.
I guess it comes down to what is worse, embarrassment or actual pain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I would just suck it up and deal with the burning when I pee, because I just couldn't handle screwing up at work every day. That's the way I look.
We're getting philosophical here. I wouldn't want to deal with the embarrassment. I think, I mean, I'm not going to say either of us are
what's the word? Whores. But I guess down the road it'd be convenient. Let's say you get an STD, and there's only one way to know if you got it is if your pee burns. But if you're used to that every day, you wouldn't even think twice. Next thing you know, you got chlamydia, and your penis needs to get chopped off at the doctor. And that's really my only reason. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, nothing.
But I've gotten soap in my pee hole before. It's been a long, long time. That was from when I was like 6. I remember being a kid and it burning when I peed. Because I just tried to wash myself, so I guess I would clean the inside of my pee hole with soap. Bad idea. Don't do that. But I remember, I still have that burned not only in my pee hole, but in my memory of how bad that hurts. So I'm like, if it hurt so bad when I was 6 that I'm 23 and can still remember it, I'm not going out of my way to purposely pick that again. I'll deal with being called an idiot.
And maybe you're right, because maybe 8 out of 10, I think 8 out of 10 is worse than just soap in your pee hole. So maybe you're right. Maybe I'm switching my answer.
Well, no, I'm not trying to sway here. I guess I'm just trying to justify my answer. But I'm glad you threw in like that you don't get fired, because I don't want to, from the rest of these Would You Rathers, I don't want to start getting into like, hey, would you rather poop your pants? It's like, well, I don't even know what I was going to say there.
There's no loopholes.
No loopholes. Not trying to think, well, I would just quit then. It's like, no, that doesn't
there's none of that.
Also, so those are, well, did you officially change your answer? I'm not going to be offended or happy either.
No, yeah, I did. I'm switching to the job one.
Maybe I could be a lawyer. Maybe that could be my job.
Maybe.
That I get embarrassed at, because that was pretty easy to get you to flip-flop on that one. And you came up with that, and you at all didn't think about it. Another thing I hate with Would You Rathers, and I'll try not to do what we did last episode and take these, turn these into 45-minute increment segments, but I saw Would You Rather the other day, and let's just say it was like, would you rather drown or be buried alive? And the guy goes, neither. And it's like, that's not the game. First of all, I'm not actually going to drown you, by the way, but like, it's a game. I'm like, you have to pick. Like, you can't just say neither. Oh, neither, Colin. I wouldn't want to get burned pee hole or a scrappy job. Just neither. Oh, okay. I didn't think about that. Anyway, I hate that.
No. I asked someone once, if you were going to a desert island, what 3 movies would you bring? And then they said, actually, I would probably just read a book. It's like, well, why don't you just play the game? That's not what I asked.
I would never be on a desert island, so why would I care? All right, we'll get to mine. Okay. These are just in order, so they probably, I don't know if they get better or worse, but this is the first one I thought of. Would you rather lose an arm or lose a leg? And you're allowed to get prosthetics. That's the thing. Like, there's not a loophole of like, oh, well, you wouldn't be allowed to treat it. Like, it would just be treated like a car crash or a shark attack or something. Would you rather lose an arm or lose a leg?
Wow, that's a good one. Let me think. If I can get a prosthetic, I think I would rather lose an arm or lose a leg.
All right. Yeah, that's my answer as well.
I just think that's the easiest one to. If I'm treating it, that's the easiest one to go on afterwards.
Right. And that's what's funny. If you can't get a prosthetic, I have to go with arm. If I had to walk around with no arm or no leg, or not, I couldn't walk around with no leg. If it was untreated, I wouldn't be able to walk, and that's more of a hindrance than anything else.
Yeah, because halfway through I was thinking arm, but then once you said you could treat it, then I had to think about it. But I would definitely go with the leg on that one.
Yeah, that one's pretty simple. I mean, if we wanted to make it harder and say no prosthetic, I guess it's just as simple. We answered just as quick to say, well, then it would definitely be arm.
But that's
an easy one. That's an easy one for us.
All right. That's good.
Well, thank you. We'll ping pong it back to you. Not trying to rush here, but I also know if left to our own devices, this conversation will go on for 3 hours.
Okay, so this one's shorter, and now these are getting into poop. All right.
Oh, don't worry. I got a couple here.
Again, for the rest of your life, every time you poop, you are limited to 1 wipe.
Oh my god.
Or your lips are always chapped.
Ooh. My butthole lips?
No.
Oh, okay. Now, I don't know if this counts as, I guess this is a loophole, but I don't even know any other like logical way around this. Like, okay, I only can wipe once, but can I get in the shower? Like, is that part of the complications of this? Is like you can poop, but you have to shower every time you poop.
Okay,
Or is it literally
here's what
like,
I'll do. I'll only like at the end of the day. We can say at the end of the day when you shower, that's when you can take care of it. But you cannot just hop in the shower after everyone. That's what I'll say.
And no bidet or anything like that.
No.
My only concern here is like untreated poop in your butt can like give you diseases and like melt your skin together. So that's my only. I'm not trying to be annoying here and be like, they there. I'm just saying like if I
something
don't
to consider.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. I don't have to do this. I could also just have chapped lips, and I could treat them with lip balm or not.
No, I
Okay.
should have mentioned that. You can't. Yeah, no chapstick. I mean, you could, but they will always be chapped.
Okay,
So
that's what I was
there's
gonna say. Like, I'm not trying to say, always chapped. Well, then I would just put chapstick and it would go away. It's like I'm aware they wouldn't go away, but at least
No, there's no relief. No,
Okay,
not a
there's no
second of relief.
Oh man, I guess I have to go chapped lips just because I don't think I would die. That way, it would just be annoying. But I don't. Maybe I could just figure out a way to take easier poops or something. Change the diet, because every once in a while you'll get like a ghost poop. I wonder if there's a way to harness that ability to ghost poop every
Yeah,
time.
if you could train your body to do that every time, then you're gold.
Or like a dog. Like dogs don't have to wipe them. Like if I just really, really squat and spread my cheeks, I think I could pull it off. But the waxing bill is going to be through the roof.
But I had this.
I just always go waxing and there's just poop in your butt. Sorry, I made a bet. Sorry.
Well, I thought I would go with the lip one just because I couldn't bring it on myself to pick the one where there's always poop in my butt.
Yeah. I guess, I haven't officially answered, I don't think. Like, at least the chapped, you know what you're getting. Like, the poop one is like, there's a lot of things at play of, okay, could I change my diet? Could I wax my hind end? Oh, man. I would have to go chapped lips, too. I mean, you'd also stink. I mean...
Yeah.
I could just shower at the end of the day. It's like, well, there's still 12 hours where you're at work and you smell like shit.
Yeah.
So I'll pick the chapped
I didn't think about the fact that you would smell. Yeah. I mean, that's another reason to pick the chapped lips.
Someone smells like chapped lips. Someone's calling. Logan was calling me. I'm just making sure the recording's still going. I hung up on him. Logan is not invited back on the show. Okay, we both agree chapped lips. All right, here's where I go into bathroom troubles. Would you rather pee your pants on an airplane or throw up on an airplane?
Throw up. Like, can I prepare and throw up in a doggy bag? Or I'm throwing up on the floor. Like, I don't see it coming.
I'm going to say throw up on the floor, because as soon as I said this, I'm like, there's an
okay.
obvious answer. I have to throw something in.
I would definitely
would
throw
sorry.
up.
Okay.
I think that's my answer. I definitely would not want to pee my pants on an airplane. I would puke on the floor. I mean, I would be fine with that over peeing my pants. That's for sure. That's my answer.
Yeah. I think there's not even a question. I can't even believe I wrote that down. I finished this list like, these are great. And then as soon as I read them, I'm like, oh. Would you rather get shot in the head or get $1 million?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I can't think of a reason to pick pee. Like
the only thing I could think is the embarrass. Like everyone would know if you threw up, but I feel like there's a way to hide that you peed your pants.
Yeah,
like
you're
there's
right.
a chance people wouldn't know that you peed yourself, but no one wouldn't know that you threw up. Like I feel like it'd be. I don't know. Yeah, that's it though. I mean, that's literally the only plus for it. And I'm not pushing for pee. I'd probably throw up.
Yeah, that is a plus, but I would still rather just throw up on the floor. And it is what it is.
Yeah. And then it's not like you have to clean it up. I guess the thing about the pee is, you know, you are going to have to go clean your pants. But if you throw up on the ground, it's not like they make you bend over and pick it up or clean it up or whatever. All right, I give it back to you. I'm going to go with throw up as well.
All right. So we've agreed on 2 of them so far.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I have another poop one.
Good.
And this one's pretty detailed. Now, every time, again for the rest of your life, every time you go to a public bathroom, you will run into someone that you know and respect. For example, your boss, someone on that tier. And every time you do this, you will have the most disgusting and loud poop of your life. And that person will have heard and smelled the whole thing and know it was you.
Okay.
Every time you use a public bathroom. Okay?
Yeah.
Or option 2, every time you log into something like Netflix or an app or any website, you will have to go through the process of resetting your password. I don't even know my answer yet for this one. I have to think. I want to hear your reasoning.
So, like, yeah, now we're getting into more just inconveniences versus, like, embarrassment. I mean, the poop is like, embarrassing.
I don't think I don't think we realize how annoying it really would be.
Yeah.
To reset your password. Like how often you just automatically log into things.
Right, yeah. It wouldn't be like right now in real life, I only have to log into Netflix every time I, like, change my device. But this would be like every time you access Netflix, you have to change your password.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. Anytime you open Netflix, you're going to have to reset your password.
Yeah, Netflix and everything, your email, your YouTube, everything.
Well, maybe I'll exclude the email because, like, if we're pretending you're going through the process of resetting your password, we'll give you access to your email since it'll probably involve you opening
the password has to come through your email.
Otherwise, you'll be in an endless loop.
Okay, your email is fine. I'm gonna go with passwords. I mean, I agree. It would, like, I don't think we know how annoying it would be, but I don't even know how. Like, it can't be worth. Every time you have to go to the bathroom. Is it every time you go to the bathroom or every time you decide to go in a public place? Like, if I go at home, obviously I'm fine. Okay.
Yeah, but you can't, only public place, but you can't avoid it. Like, you go in a public place anytime you had to. You can't say, no, I'm not going to do it because I know what's going to happen. Like, every time you go, this is going to happen.
Well, see, if we're putting our mind together and making this up, I would say you can hold it. And then that's just part of the problem. Like, that's part of the problem is if you think you can hold it, you can hold it. But now all of a sudden you're the guy that has to poop all the time, which makes it tough. Like, but I'll go with you. Now we're getting into supernatural stuff of, like, now you don't even have free will. I'm like, great. I'm gonna go with the passwords because I don't want to say it's a loophole, but it's also like maybe I would just. Like, you can't not go to the bathroom, but if I really wanted to, I could stop using Netflix and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to. And I'm not trying to say, like, oh, neither. But it's certainly an inconvenience. I don't know. I mean, I guess that sounds annoying, but it's like, do I not have a choice in this? Like, okay, you do the passwords. It's like, okay, I just wouldn't use Netflix, which is also an inconvenience. But I would just not access the passwords. I wouldn't have to reset my password, but I can't just be like, oh, I'm going to just stop pooping from now on.
Okay, but here's what I'll say. You can't, in this fake scenario, you can't stop using things to avoid not resetting your password. You use them as you would today.
Okay. All right. I hate that. I hate it. But I'll play along here. Because I know I started this by being like, you can't just say neither. I'm like, well, I didn't even use Netflix, so. It's my mom's account. She'll be the one who has to set it. What do I care? I'm still going to go with passwords and just use them as I use them now. I mean, it certainly would be annoying. But I feel like I could put up with that easier than every time I go to a public bathroom, there's someone just listening to me. That's my biggest fear now. And it's never, ever happened in my life. And now it's going to happen every time.
By someone you respect.
Yeah, it'd be freaking Heisenberg.
Well, here's my answer. I'm going with the poop on this one. And here's, like...
Because I've always wanted people to hear me go.
No, I seriously think it would drive me insane to reset my password that often. Like, I think with the poop one, I would just say, you know what? I'll be known as the funny poop guy. Like, I'll just that'll just be my thing, and I'll own it
Yeah.
or whatever. That's the way I'm looking at it. I don't even care. After a few times, it is what it is. I'll be the poop guy. Everyone will know me as the poop guy.
Oh man, yeah. This is a good. I mean, it's good that they have literally like neither of them have anything to do with each other. It's hard to relate. Like it's hard to consider what would actually be better. Because it's not like would you rather be punched in the face or punched in the balls, where you can like imagine like, well, this hurts, but that hurts. It's like two completely different scenarios. And I don't want to just change my answer because you did, but you're kind of right. Like this would go until I'm 100, and I'm on YouTube 50 times a day.
Yep.
Like how many passwords could you come up with? I guess you wouldn't have to remember it. Every time you sign in, it's a new one, so you could just make it whatever you want. That's kind of a plus.
and once you get older, if you're just an old guy in the bathroom poop, like no one will care at that point.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll be famous or something. You could be famous. Like, am I allowed to use this to my advantage of like get on the news? It's like this man always poops disgustingly.
Sure, why not?
The sky's the limit with this one. That's great. Yeah, I mean that's a plus. Oh man. Well, just for fun, I'm gonna stick with passwords. I'm gonna stay with passwords and just say like it's kind of I wouldn't have to remember it. It would be annoying, but it's it's one email away from just saying reset, sign it. I think that's what I would do.
All right. I respect the answer, but we disagree.
Likewise. Here's mine. This one's more of like whatever. Let's just hear it. Would you rather be sick for an entire year? Like you could go to work and whatever, but you just feel sick and you might have to throw up, you might have diarrhea, you're sick, or only listen to Taylor Swift music for 6 months. And I don't know how God gets involved in this or whoever, but that even includes like when you're watching TV and a song comes on a commercial, the TV will just mute it or replace it with Taylor Swift or however this would work. You cannot, any music you listen to is Taylor Swift's songs
so every
for 6
movie
months.
I watch, every movie I watch will be a Taylor Swift soundtrack, is what you're saying.
Yeah. There's no cheating. Like, I would just watch Juno and listen to the Kinks in the beginning. It's like that's not going to work here.
Wow. Yeah, this is a good one. I think I'd go with the Taylor Swift.
Okay.
For sure. Well, not for sure. That's a tough one. But I mean, I think that's what I would do. I would just, because I'm imagining myself in bed like with a sore throat and I can't sleep.
Yeah.
Like that type of sick, and I just could not possibly. I can't even stand that for 2 days.
Yeah, a year's a little rich.
Year.
A year is long.
But I mean, I don't know. I think I would go with, even if it were like a month, I think I would still go 6 months of Taylor Swift. Like I would just, I just cannot stand being sick, and I would just suck it up. I would do it, even if it ruined, even if I watched Dumb and Dumber and then everything was Taylor Swift, and it ruined the movie for actually. Because I have to think about that, because it could ruin my favorite movies for me if I'm not hearing the soundtracks I'm so used to. But no, I would still go with the Taylor Swift. That's my final answer.
Okay, I should have had these. I should have had my answers prepared before I started this. I don't really know. Like the reason I gave the Taylor, I made Taylor Swift only 6 months and not a year because I thought that would definitely be harder. Like I would go crazy. I mean, 6 months is a lot. Like being sick for a year is obviously long, but like 6 months of music that you have no control over is like.
Yeah, maybe I'm underestimating how long 6 months would be.
And to all the Swifties out there, this isn't because we think Taylor Swift sucks, but we don't listen to her, so it's more just like imagine not being able to choose your own songs. That's what we're talking. I guess there's people out there that are like Taylor Swift for 6 months. That's great. Okay, Metallica then. And I'll be polite. Okay, here. What about this? Let's reset it. sick for a year, but you get to treat it the same way when you're sick now. Like, you can chug all the chicken noodle soup you want, chug all the NyQuil. Like, there's ways to get by it, but you're going to have to do that for a year. Like, that's the inconvenience. Yeah. It's not necessarily you're stuck in bed with a fever of 103. Like, yeah, if you actually did that, you'd die. But, like, you have to go through all the annoyances of, like, taking your temperature and drinking hot soup and chicken broth and all this stuff. And the Taylor Swift stuff, I'll be nice and take the movies out of it. You can watch a movie. Like, if you're so committed to listening to music that you have to watch Dumb and Dumber to do it, then you can do it. But Spotify, YouTube Music, whatever, CDs don't exist. Like, if you are specifically picking a song, you have to pick Taylor Swift for the next 6 months.
Right.
What is that? How does that change?
Well, if I can treat me being sick, I think I would switch my answer. I think I would go with the sick one. Because, I mean, yeah, I think I would just suck it up. If I have to take medicine every day, then so be it. Like, I think I would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think you're right. I think I would go insane, not listening to my normal stuff for that long of a period. So, okay, I switch my answer to the sick one.
Yeah, hey, go ahead. It's not, like I said, it's not even like, oh, Taylor Swift is so bad. Imagine having to listen to that. But it's just like now you just don't have any freedom. I think that's why I'm trying to make it more like, obviously I can't control whether or not you get sick for a year, but it's like, let's make this as realistic as we can of like, okay, I can't get rid of every movie. Like, you can still hear a song, but you're limited to what they play on the TV and all that. And sick, like, I'm not going to say you have to be sick for a year and you're not even allowed to treat it. It's like, well, then you would die. But it's still just as annoying to have to chug cough drops every day.
Yeah. Like, when I'm thinking about, I'm not thinking like Taylor Swift, I couldn't do it. Like, it's less about the Taylor Swift and more about, like, I would need my normal stuff. Like, even when I'm driving in the car or whatever, like, I would just go insane if I only had to listen to Taylor Swift or any other whatever. Anything.
Right, we've got a road trip coming up. Imagine we're stuck in the car and all we can listen to is freaking.
I know.
I don't know a single song by her.
I know.
Blank space.
I know. I think there'd be long-term effects. Like, I think I would just seriously go insane for that long of a period. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. I am assuring my answer. It's being sick for a year.
All right. What is assuring?
You've convinced me, or you've made me switch.
Thank you.
Twice now.
Or you're welcome, or whatever. Do you have any more? I know you said earlier you only had 3. Was that it?
Those are the 3 I had. Yeah.
Well, I got 2 more.
Oh, let's hear it. I'm ready.
Would you rather never use a zipper again or never use Bluetooth again? Assuming Bluetooth stays exactly how it is now, like 100 years from now, we might not have aux cords. Like, you could still use an aux cord. You can still use headphones, but they can't be Bluetooth.
All right.
And zippers exist, but you're not allowed to use them.
So, like, my fly will always be down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that part
Sorry, I didn't even think about that. I forgot about those. Yeah. Sweatpants only for you.
I mean, that's a key detail. The fact that your fly will always be down in this scenario.
Yeah. Now, you can get those Levi's jeans that have the button up the front, or like Velcro pants. You could.
Okay, so
you're allowed to uninstall the zippers and install Velcro. Yeah, but you're also known as the guy every time you kiss a lady, take your pants off. It's like, you know what I mean? Now you're the Velcro guy.
Okay. Well, what's another? So, like, I couldn't zip a jacket.
Yeah, no zipping jackets. You can only button your jackets. Your backpack, like, you would have to think about your suitcase from now on.
My backpack and suitcase would always be open.
You could only use briefcases with clasps. Yeah. And buckles. Life vests, you could only wear life vests if you wanted. Those have buckles, that's it.
Yeah.
Life vests are fine. Don't worry about those.
I think I would go without the Bluetooth. I think I would be fine with. I could manage without it.
Okay.
Yeah. Why? What are you thinking there?
I think Bluetooth also. That's why you notice if any of these are good, it's the first part is good. It's always like pee your pants on a plane or be sick for a year and then the other one's just like or kiss a girl on the lips. It's like, oh, I'd kiss the girl on the lips. What are you talking about? All the beginnings of these are good. I guess I would go with never use Bluetooth again. Yeah, because there's aux cords. Like right now, I'm using wired headphones. I'm using a Bluetooth camera, but I can manage it without it. I'd have to have a wired mouse though. But yeah, the zipper, like the pants. Yeah, I forgot about how many zippers I use. I was just looking at like my bathroom bag, and I was like, imagine you couldn't close that. That would suck. I forgot how many zippers I have to use. Yeah, I would go with the Bluetooth also.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like if I picked if I couldn't use a zipper, or I don't know, like as I would go in, like go on, because I'm only thinking of a few things I use the zipper for. So I think as I would live, I'd be like, wow. So it is important to have a zipper, but I just can't think of those situations right now. I'm just thinking of the pants in the backpack, and but I like that. That's a good one.
Okay.
But I would still go with the Bluetooth one.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can redo this list and come up with like real hard ones because zipper's fun and Bluetooth's all right, but those could be mixed matched or something else that's a little more similar. But here's my last one for you. I don't remember if this one's good or not. Just try to think of the inconvenience. Would you rather air dry your clothes every time you do a load of laundry, or only use Sharpies to write anything ever from now on?
I would do the air dry your clothes.
Okay.
I could not. I don't think I could do the Sharpie. Like I'm thinking about like checks and filling out paperwork. Like I would look like a 5-year-old if I was filling them out in Sharpie. I just can't.
You have to get a real big one. A real big check. I mean, not a big Sharpie.
Yeah. I can't imagine doing a Sharpie and everything. That would be terrible. But,
okay. You kind of like when I thought about this was more of the permanence aspect. So for a check example, like you can use the Sharpie pen, but just know every time you write something, if you screw it up, you have to do the check again.
Okay.
I guess that makes sense for checks because you can't use pencils already. But
so like here's an
dry
example.
erase boards are off the table.
I was just gonna say dry erase boards. If I write on them, are they ruined forever?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay,
you're the guy who's always using Sharpies on dry erase.
Okay, well that is extremely important. Wait, what was the other one again?
Air
the
dry your
option?
clothes.
Oh yeah.
Which seems simple until you realize for like you, for example, like 6 months out of the year is like under 30 degrees.
Yep, I know. Yeah, this is hard. This is a hard one because you're right. In the winter, it would be terrible.
Or even like, I mean, you could dry them in your house, but then it's also like now you have all your clothes just like sitting on racks in your house, like just soaking wet. Like your clothes aren't ruined, but it's just like, okay, now what used to take an hour takes like 2 days.
I think I would go with the Sharpie one. I seriously think I would because I think when you think about in the winter, like it would be terrible. And I know the whole time I'd be thinking, I could have just been writing stuff in Sharpie. It would have been fine. This is terrible. So
yeah, I don't even use pencils anymore.
Yeah, I don't even use a pencil. What was I thinking? Yeah, I'm going Sharpie. And if I ruined whiteboards at work or whatever, I would just say, sorry. Like whatever, I would deal with that. That's fine with I'd much rather deal with that than have to worry about drying my clothes in the winter. It would just make my life terrible. So yeah, going with Sharpie.
I would just do the clothes and then just buy new clothes every day. It's easy, Colin. You should have thought about that. Just kidding. I guess that's part of it, though. If you wanted to do that, you could, but now all of a sudden your clothes bill goes from like $300 a year to like $6,000.
Yeah. Yeah, is that what you're thinking? So you just throw the old ones away and just keep buying new clothes.
Yeah, just save yourself from doing the laundry, I guess.
All right.
Or just use your friend's dryer. Yeah, it's basically just saying, like, would you rather just not have a dryer?
Yeah.
I thought that was a fun one though, because it's just like, that would be annoying. Like I said, the Sharpie thing is more just about the permanence. Like, I guess a pen it's basically the same as a pen, but there's no such thing as a dry. Like, you can't erase anything you write down. You can tear it up, but like dry erase markers don't exist. Like, you are forced to, every time you write something and screw up, you have to tear that page out and try again.
Yeah. But yeah, like even like let's say you go to like the DMV or something and they say, okay, fill out this form, and then you screw up. Think like little things like that would be extremely annoying.
Yeah.
But I
Which
would
I guess
still go
in
with
that example, though, I mean, like, I guess you're already doing that with a pen. So if you did screw up, you'd have to do it
Yeah,
again.
you're right. Yeah, I guess I'm not doing that stuff in a pencil.
Yeah.
So
Like
you're right.
official stuff, like you're nervous to screw it up, but you would have to do that in a pen anyway. But this is like anytime you make a note, anytime you draw with your children and they're like, "Hey, get the crayons out." And you're like, "I can't. My clothes are dry. So I can only use Sharpie."
Yeah. Okay,
Or
how about
markers or
this?
whatever.
Let's say you're
Okay.
hanging out with your children and they want to do the sidewalk chalk. Is this assuming what you do on the sidewalk would be there forever?
No. But you just
Okay.
couldn't do it. You would just have to tell you like I can't do it.
Okay.
Maybe it's a paradox.
still
I
go.
guess you'd never know. I don't know. That's tough. Like I just imagine. That's tough. I don't know. We'd have to put our heads together and really think about the logistics of this. I was just thinking about like cartoons and stuff. You're like, would your kids love you if you couldn't
I
draw
know.
chalk?
I know. It gets deep when you start thinking about these
Yeah.
things.
Just like clothes. Would you rather wet clothes? And you're like, yeah, but what if you let your son borrow your jacket and he gets pneumonia and dies? Yep, that would
Oh.
suck. That would really stink.
That's another. That comes back to that zipper one. Sorry, I don't mean to go completely off track.
Please.
But like, let's say
is
your son says, "Dad, can you zip up my coat because it's negative 10 degrees outside?" What would you do? Could I zip it up, or would I have to send him out in the cold?
You'd have to send him out in the cold. You say,
Okay, because that's
Buck
an
up,
important
son.
thing to think about.
yeah. Yeah, like you couldn't be a forensic scientist or whatever. Whoever the people are in charge of closing body bags, you'd be the guy at work that's like, I can't do it. I could pick them up, I could put them in the bag, but I can't zip it shut. Yeah, think about that. How many jobs involve zippers? Yeah, your dreams of working at a zipper factory, haberdashery, are out of the question.
Yeah, or your boss says, "Okay, I have this briefcase full of important documents. I need you to run them across town right now in the next 5 minutes, or you're fired." Sir, I can't zip that briefcase up. I mean, maybe that will come up. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, what else has zippers? Yeah, just even at every time you go to the airport and they're like, okay, take your laptop out of your bag, and you're like, sir, can you open this for me? I'm assuming by then you wouldn't use a backpack with zippers. Like you'd be if you brought a zipper backpack to the airport and you're not allowed to touch them, that's on you. Yeah, I think I would go with. I don't want to say air dry my clothes because I'm in Utah. Like I'm moving in 2 months. Like that'll be fun. By the way, I'm moving in 2 months, everybody. I don't know. Air dry my clothes. Like I feel like, and that's where I'm like, these ones you can cheat. Like you still you can't use a dryer is basically all it comes down to. But if you want to wear a shirt and wash just the shirt the second you take it off and let it dry before the next day, like you can do that. It's not like you're forced to do a whole entire load of laundry for your whole closet and dry them all at the same time. Like you could put washing your clothes off for a while. Like just treat it like it's a real thing. Like your dryers just doesn't exist. You could just not wash your clothes, but now you're the guy that smells at work. Like you could, well, the Sharpie one, I don't know. I don't know how you would go about not doing that.
Yeah, you
Or
just
like,
have
yeah,
to
you could draw,
deal
like
with
you
it.
can, yeah, you can, I don't know. Scribble stuff, but it's permanent forever, which isn't like it's not like, oh, now you have to always be reminded of that doodle. It's just annoying of like, you can't erase something. You get down to the bottom of the page, there's no backspace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would still go with the Sharpie though. Well, which one did you pick?
I feel like I would pick the clothes. Because I feel like there's easier ways to go about that than the Sharpie.
Yeah, I think you're right. I can see both sides of this one. That's a good one.
I haven't taken into account like technology though. Like now there's an Apple Pencil. It's not like you would be scribbling on your iPad with a Sharpie, but like I guess the easy way out of that would be like I'll just use my Apple Pencil and then transfer all my notes to digital. Like I just never would write anything again. Like I guess you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of takes the fun out of it. But it's
Or
up to
what
you
about those
however you
things-
solve it.
You know those things full of the sand or whatever, you can write it and then you shake it and it goes away.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like, again, let's say your son says, "Dad, write my name." Like, would I just write it and it would not, I wouldn't be able to shake it away?
I think it's more these ones at least, other than like being sick for a year, like there's not a way to cause that on your own. It's more just like discipline. All the rules of physics and nature still are in play.
Okay. All right.
It's more just like you'll be in big trouble if you pick up that piece of chalk.
Okay. All right.
But once you write on the Etch-a-Sketch, you're not allowed to shake it.
All right.
You're going to have to
Good to
keep
know.
buying Etch-a-Sketch. No, I don't know. I'm just kidding. But, yeah, just think about it more like every time you want to use a pencil, it's a Sharpie. That's it.
Okay.
That's all. Chalk, unless you're
All right.
using chalk to like sign your documents, like that really, you go ahead and use chalk. I don't really care.
All right. I still keep my answer up. I'm keeping the Sharpie.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't think that would be too bad. Like I write every single note in here is just a pen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, I'll basically consider Sharpies and pens the same thing, just permanent. Everything you write down is there. You can't erase it. And I
don't even know the
erasable
last time I
pens here.
used an actual pencil. Other
Me
than
neither.
school. So,
Actually,
yeah,
I
think
used
I
one
would just
today.
yeah.
I had to
I guess
sharpen
the
them.
whiteboard aspect is the important one here. But I mean, I would just I'd deal with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
fine.
with the other ones, you're like, I'll be the poop guy. It's like now you'll just be the white. They'd be like, don't give Blair the dry erase board. Don't give him the expo. You know what he's gonna do. And you won't be able to
I'm fine with
explain what.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine being that guy.
You're not allowed to explain the rules. You're not allowed to be like, no, I made a bet. I have to use a Sharpie. You would just have to be like, sorry guys, you know me. I did it again. And they're like, Colin, your clothes are so dry. And you go, thank you. Yeah, I think I would pick the air dry the clothes though, and I would just cheat and like not wash my clothes or like dry them one at a time, or like use a hair dryer or a fire. Like you could dry them with a fire or something. You just can't use a dryer.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all the ones I had. I feel like those weren't too bad for coming up with them on the spot. Basically, I feel like there's a couple we could iron the kinks out. That's what half this conversation was trying to figure out the rules. But maybe we'll come up with a big, huge, long list and let all the commenters answer them one day. All the audience figure out what they would rather do. We'll come up with like a board game.
Good idea. Yeah.
But these were fun enough to come up with. Maybe this segment might make a comeback because I feel like we could do that again. There's certainly a lot more on the table. I mean, all we did today, we barely scratched the surface. I mean, 6 of them were about pooping and peeing and throwing up. So it's like, imagine the other possibilities once we start getting into everything past the bathroom.
Yeah, and we.
That's all.
I
That's all
mean,
I had.
yeah, it was about. We probably agreed on half of them and disagreed on the other half. So I mean, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, well, I'm glad with the two. I think I swayed you on 2 of them. I think I made some expert.
You did, yeah. You made me
claims
switch.
here.
Yeah, you made me switch twice.
You didn't make me switch though. Let's remember that. I'm just kidding. I can't even remember which ones I said, or I can't remember which ones we disagreed on. I don't know. It's on video. Everybody at home can remember. But that's all. Unless you had any final remarks, Colin, that was the end of our Would You Rather game. I think that was fun, and it brought up a lot. That's all I
got.
We considered a lot of philosophical questions. Once you take out free will, what really are you left with? Would you rather listen to Taylor Swift or be sick? Because I know what I would pick. And that rhymes. That's one of her lyrics. Well, thank you, Colin. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
We'll see you all next episode.
See you later.
Bye-bye, everybody.